Besides sending the police, you might want to send an ambulance or a hearse.
Hello, Billy Ho here. 2023 Arnold Palmer Invitational Bay Hill Country Club. Looking forward to this another elevated event number two. Before we get started, my five things: one, two, three, four, five, five. Pleading the fifth, like Dave Chappelle should say. Uh, Subscribe button number one. Two, smash the like. Three, the preview article is out, looking good. Adding to it every day. Number four is going to be the DraftKings contest when pricing comes out, likely tomorrow, early afternoon. And five is the Discord. The link will be in the description. I'll post it in the comments. I'll put it out on Twitter. So jump on in there and hang out with us. Appreciate you. And before we get into it, just a quick Chris Kirk taking a two-shot lead, I believe, into the Honda. Uh, Pretty wild tournament. You can check my article. I'm actually adding in to the article a previous week's tournament recap. Just give everybody kind of the lay of the land on how things finished up. So check that out as well. And we are going to get into some stuff here. And before we get started, I just wanted to take a quick look at some weather. And so let's get it going. Okay, Windermere, Florida, Orlando Airport is where I'm at here. It's pretty close, but this is what we're looking at is the main concern of the week. It looks like the temperatures will be in the upper 80s, like really hot and humid to start the week. But there does appear to be a front coming in right here Friday. You see, the wind looks insane. So we don't know where that's going to be. It's been on Friday the last day and a half or so, or maybe day. So I'm keeping a close eye on that, as should you, because it is bringing some super gusty winds and dropping temperatures and maybe some showers Saturday morning. We don't know. See, around here could be some random thunderstorms, but then it's going to lower the temperatures into the upper 70s, mid 70s, somewhere in that neighborhood for the weekend. So that is something to keep an eye on. Another thing is it's been pretty dry all month from what I saw, not a whole lot of rain. So the course is going to be looking pretty firm and fast. Now, Bay Hill Country Club going from Jack to Arnie, as this course will play 7,466 yards, par 72. Oh, about 30 yards wide on the fairways. You can see the water holes. That's the historic number 6 hole. We love that hole where Bryson drove it that one time. About 3-inch rough. The fairways are ryegrass, about 30 yards wide, like I said. Pretty big 7,500 square feet greens. Tiff Eagle Bermuda, similar to Honda, fast and firm. Less water in play, but a lot more bunkers guarding fairways and greens. So your sand game is going to be tested. And as we can see, we have a lot of loop-de-loop type holes. I believe this is number 6. Look, and you just have to make this big L going around here and then up in there. So you want to try to bite it off. You can, but that will lead to disaster. And if you do get too cute, you will see some disastery. So now let's go into this is just a Google thing. So I just want to give you guys kind of an idea on what's going on with the course. So we're going to get into some stats now. Courtesy of Rick Run Good, these are your kind of stats that he's looking at, and they're similar to what I got as well. My model stats are kind of like strokes gain off the tee distance. I want to emphasize probably about 60-40 distance over accuracy. It does pay to be accurate, but this is a very long golf course, so you want to be long off the tee, and it always pays to have that distance. Now, the firmness of the fairways and whatnot could play into a factor, so you might get more run out. So we'll have to keep that in mind as well. Strokes gained approach is always important. Obviously, you can get it done here in different ways. but I think the best way is to crush the field off the tee myself. So approach game from 150 to 200 is usually optimal range. We also want to throw in some shorter buckets. You can see 50 to 75 yards. And long approaches are obviously, I don't really count those. Equal to or at 200 is probably okay. But when you start getting up to 250 and 275, they're hitting fairway woods and hybrids. So that's really not hitting an iron. Now, some of these guys can hit 3 iron out of the fairway, but is that really what your strokes gained approach you want to do? So you have to keep that in mind as far as that goes. I also want to throw in putting stats, sand saves, tee to green, but putting total putts per round. You can see down here that's an interesting stat to take a look at. But most of the time, the winners here are ball striking it as usual, and of course, your typical scoring stats uh, are always good. But like I said, I like distance because you can hit more wedges off the tee, and that's always a good thing. The shorter club you have to hit, you're better off with a guy that's hitting 320 than you are 290. So keep that in mind as well. And we all know players need to limit mistakes and three putting and poor bunker play. So that's that. Real quick on the article, it's coming together nicely. There's my Honda recap. If you didn't see this one, it was hilarious. Akshay Bhatia, looking like he's in an episode of Survivor out there. He went and stepped into his knee in this bog, trying to get to his ball to play it, and then whacked it out and didn't get it all, and then whacked it out again. So he's showing off the super 0% body fat and the long hair and the beard, looking real crunchy, isn't he? So anyway, that guy he's pretty good at golf though. I'll give him that. And of course, I've got the lined out like I put out on Twitter. We got a little course descriptions, some key stats, weather, and now we are going to get into these guys, the big dogs. So I'm going to go over here to Rick's cheat sheet and just to see what he's got going on here, because we get a little bit of course history over here to the right. Of course, I guess I'll start with John Rahm because he is projected the highest, and he's the guy that's just tearing shit up this year. So hard to pick against him. I mean, dude's like a pair of apple bottom jeans. He's just a tight fit, course fit everywhere. Amazing ball striker. You can pencil him in for 90 any given week. And if he wins the golf tournament, then you're getting that coveted 100 plus, depending on. This is a tough course. This is like a 8 to 12 minus under par range. So he played it last year, T17. But I mean, you can see these numbers this year. His worst finish since the Hero was 7th at the Farmers. So that's what we're looking at. Patrick Cantlay has never played here. He's a debutant, but he did have his breakout performance at the Genesis. So he's up here as well. I don't believe this. My second guy in, it's almost like a 2 and 2A between Rory and Scotty, because Scotty won it last year, but Rory has really, really good history here. And I just feel like Rory's really close. I mean, you can see his numbers. He won it back. He was shout out to my 2018 season when I won my first, I think, pretty big GPP off of Rory when he tore it up on Sunday, making every putt known to man. And then he's had nothing but top 10s. He had a 13th last year, but he was a little bit off his game, but he hits it a mile. Like I said, I want that distance. So Rory is up there for me. And then you got Scotty Too Hottie. He's on a roll of his own. He got the win at Wimpo back to back there. Great ball striking week at Genesis. And we all know what he can do here because he won it last year. And if this is a week you want to jam up two up top, I might do the Rory Scotty thing, maybe. We'll just see. I'll get to some strategy here in a minute. But there's other guys down here, and I'm just going over the top dogs right now. We'll get into a couple more players in a minute. Xander, X-Man, playing some good golf right now. So, I do have some interest in him. He has just limited history here, 24th. I don't think he's quite the fit. I think you could probably fade him if you wanted to. and it will depend on price and popularity. But the approach game is dialed in for him. He's been gaining a lot on approach lately, so keep that in mind. And he can split peas off the tee when he's whacking it. So, but Bermuda is not his best surface, but he is still positive. He's a very good putter, so don't get that twisted. And there's enough strikes against him to warrant a fade if you want to go that route. But I mean, can we just say Max Homa is it any state that there's a Disney theme park? Because he's a California guy, as we know, but he's pretty damn good in Florida too. That near miss win, but his off the tee game, which is usually a huge part of his forte, has not been there. He gained 11 strokes putting in that second place finish to Rahm, and you could tell that's why he kind of lost the tournament. He kind of gave it away toward the end. You can't make every putt known to man and beat Jon Rahm when you're not hitting it off the tee and your short game and other aspects are not quite up to par. He's going to thump you. So another guy who's got some interesting star power here down here, Morikawa, hasn't played in a couple of years, but he does have the ninth. So odd miscut at Wimpo, but he's had really good, you can see his results, all top tens since December. He destroyed this course last year, ball striking alone. The short game killed him. The putting killed him. Obviously, that's his problem. So the question is with Kawa, how will he navigate, inside of 20 yards or so, inside of 15 yards? Who knows? Every time I think I know what's going to happen with him, I'm wrong. So he is weakest on Bermuda, likely going to be popular. So I guess pretty much do the opposite of what I do, and you'll probably be all right because I always seem to do the opposite of what he does. I'll fade him and he wins. JT's the same way. Just when I get sick of playing this guy and defending him, and he's going to get the driver together, and then he can't putt. Then he gets the putter together, and he bleeds strokes approach like he did last time out. He's peanut butter, no jelly, ham, no burger. He don't ever have two things that match. He's kind of similar to Jordan Spieth like that, his BFF. So I don't know. It's going to come down to the beginning and the end for JT, off the tee and putting, obviously. So other players I can get into, Willie Z's looking good. I think that his back issue is in the swing adjustment. That judging from that fourth at Genesis looked good. He's got a 10th and a 38th here. So I will definitely be zeroed in on some Willie Z, long off the tee, obviously. Hits a ton of greens, almost 73% of his greens in regulation. But, greens in regulation aren't huge this week because of the 7,500 square feet greens. But there's other guys. Terrell Hatton, obviously, he's won this golf tournament. Played really, really well at Genesis. So I'm feeling him this week. Other guys, Victor Hovland's got a good record. Chris Kirk, who is leading, he's got a couple of good finishes here. Connors, ball striking phenom. His best surface is Bermuda. Aaron Wise is interesting. He finally got it together today. Shot a bogey-free 4 under 66, but he's a wild man. I mean, he had 22 putts in round one, and I think he hit the ball in the water 3 times. So, but the putting is in order, and that was his big issue for a long time. Sam Burns has kind of been really struggling lately, but he might be a guy to take a look at. Cameron Young, T13 last year, looks good. I don't know about Shane Lowry, 4 straight cuts here. He doesn't seem to like this course. And coming off a Honda, who knows what's going to happen. Jason Day's won here before. That guy is just like he's back to the old Jason Day. I mean, these are some results here, man. 3 straight top 10s and then an 18th. And of course, he doesn't have good results his last 4 outings, but he's got back class, as the horse racing industry likes to call it. But this is the other thing I wanted to show you. This is where I usually go, the new Golf News Net. It gives you the player field, but what it does is it gives you the top 50 players in the field. I love this because then that gives you a jump off point. And I usually I'm going to start my player pool here because most of the guys that finished in the top 20, top 18, I should say, because there was like 8 guys tied for 20th, but I tossed that out. But so there was like 11 of 18 on this list and way up this list. So you could start this list, and this is part of my player pool strategy. So it's honestly going to be team jam them in. So you could take this list, top 50 players. That's a start. Then you can remove guys. Say this would be my own personal thing, and this is just a list. I may not even do this, but say guys like Speed, Lowry, Detry, Harmon, Power, Hoagie, Henley, Fox, Kisner, guys like that don't seem like good fits, and replace them with guys like Penrith, Clark, Buckley, dudes that hit the ball long off the tee. Higo, who had a nice turnaround at Honda and who can get hot fire. Ben Griffin, SH Kim is my dude on the Discord, Big Daddy Gator's favorite guy this week. He's really bashing him about the lack of birdie production, but he actually had a pretty good day today. So he'll probably rethink that after he sees that 3-under finish for the tournament. So and other guys, Moronk is playing, but you get it. So judging from the Genesis, you need to build lineups to hit the top of the leaderboard more than you need a 6 of 6. If I jam anything home for you on the show, that's what I'm looking at, because you can just roll right over somebody with a 5 of 6 when you've got 3 guys in the top 5 and your other guy with 6 of 6 is all his guys are. And you'll look up Sunday and this guy will be 6 of 6 and you'll have 20 more holes to play than him because his guys have already played and you still got guys yet to tee off. Keep that in mind. And until the Tuesday DraftKings show, we'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.